This is Mark Oldup Sky Halpern here for another episode of How the Old Man Sees It. And I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about the NBA and my team, the Knicks. Well, I wish I did, but I don't. The New York Knicks have been in talks on and off since pretty much the NBA draft with the Utah Jazz to try and get a trade done to bring Donovan Spider Mitchell here to New York to play on the Knicks. Every time we hear that there's progress, it actually seems like it's a big step back. And I don't fault this on the part of the Knicks, obviously, because the Knicks are willing to try to make the trade. However, they're not going to give up the farm for the prize cow right now, after, especially as a couple of our guys on SIN have put, after what they did during the Carmelo Anthony bring over. They're not going to give everything away without getting something really back. Obviously, the getting something back is Donovan Mitchell. Danny Ainge, in my opinion, is costing the Jazz any chances in improving your team, not only just now, but for the future with the it's not request, it's more of demands. You know, is that what are we all supposed to get down on one knee and kiss your fucking ring? No. You have to look at it this way. Obviously, first round draft picks are a big part of this trade. And this is why the Knicks did the job they did on the NBA draft by signing and trading and acquiring. They were able to acquire 8 first round picks total. You know, that's amazing in the NBA, let alone any other sport. But obviously, it's all not in 1 year. It's over a few years, but still, number one picks. So the thought was it was going to take at least 5 to 6 picks. Well, Danny Ainge was coming out. No, I want 8 picks. The Knicks said no, slamming the door. Well, Danny Ainge would then look back. Well, I'm going to need picks, but I'm going to also need players. We as Knicks fans all knew players were going to be a part of this, and we're going to set aside Julius Randle for a second, and we're going to look at the Knicks youth. Obviously, 2 to 3 Knicks prospects would have to be going in this deal, and maybe a veteran. There was talk of Utah wanting Quentin Grimes and Emmanuel Quickley and Obi Toppin along with 5 picks, and then there was other words they wanted Grimes and then Fournier was part of it. I mean, Grimes seems to be the one rookie that Danny Ainge really wants, and the Knicks really don't want to give him up, but obviously you're not going to be able to bring in Donovan Mitchell if you don't give up a couple of the Knicks youth here. As we look closer, then became the veterans part. So we're going to forget about the rookies part. The Knicks have come out and said publicly they will not trade RJ Barrett. He is not going to be part of any trade. Now, we've heard this type of talk from every sport, and then all of a sudden they get traded. This one, I think you can bank on the fact that will not be traded. RJ Barrett will be a New York Knick. Julius Randle needs, he had that one good year, then the Knicks gave him that ridiculous extension. Well, let's put it this way. It wasn't ridiculous, just the amount of money, and it was ridiculous, but whatever. And he hasn't lived up since that first year he came over. So they have to try to move him, especially with the money they want, money they're paying him. There was thought that once the deal got done with Utah, and this was on the premise that it was ready to be done, is that the Knicks would then make a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers, sending Julius Randle, and then the Knicks pick up Russell Westbrook's contract. And we've heard different scenarios all over the place. Not one has been concrete. We know that Danny Ainge has now said he wants RJ Barrett in return, and the Knicks have already said no. So if I'm a Utah Jazz fan, I understand what Donovan Mitchell has brought to this team. But look what the Jazz have given away. Rudy Gobert's no longer there. I mean, a lot of the big stars are not there anymore. And if Donovan Mitchell has a bad year, because all the stress is thrown on him, if he has a bad year, then his trade value is nothing. Well, not nothing, but his trade value will go way down. So what is Danny Ainge trying to do? Did he think he was going to be able to just come in and demand to fleece the entire Knicks organization of picks and players, and we were just going to count down and say yes? No. The Knicks are going to do what is right for the New York Knicks. My thought on it is that it should be a total of 5 to 6 picks, with 2 of them being protected. Fournier absolutely should be part of it. And of the rookies, I don't want to see. I love Obi Toppin and I love Deuce McBride. I mean, I think my love for Obi Toppin is just because he grew up here in Ossining. That's where I am. But it really, you got to be able to give quality players. And I think what it will come down to, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, is 5 to 6 picks with 2 protected. Evan Fournier, Obi Toppin, and Quentin Grimes will, I think, in my humble opinion, would be more than enough to get this done. Yes, I will miss the fact that Obi is not on the team. Quentin has got a great future in the NBA. He's very, very athletic. I mean, I think that is why Utah covets him so much. And also the Knicks do as well, because eventually, they're gonna need style of play like his. But you bring in Donovan Mitchell, then the staffing needs kind of change. As for Julius Randle, right now there's been no talks with any other team about wanting him directly. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, what's the worst that happens is that the Knicks keep him this year. And if they do make that trade, then you're looking at a front court with Barrett, Randle, Mitchell, Brunson, and Robinson. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a very solid lineup. But I mean, if you give away all the rookies, it's a problem. And I know that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get as much as he can and look like the savior of the Jazz organization. He blows this, then should he be fired? That he had the opportunity, and this is not the first time Danny Ainge has pulled this type of stuff. And I technically can't say it's called pulling a problem, because it's done all everywhere, But this is what Danny Ainge is known for, and nobody wants to sit down at the table and have cards dealt to them. So the Knicks will do what's right. Rose knows what he's going to be doing and making sure the Knicks fan will be happy with what's going to happen there this season. Obviously, it all depends on the trade and everything, but if the Knicks do make the trade, playoffs are not out of the question. I would say possibly the 6th seed. And, as the season goes on, that can either change for the better or change for the worse. We all know that. Please stay tuned for SIN's The Throwdown. When basketball starts, we'll be having our podcast restart. Check out the website, www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. You can see all our blogs, podcasts, vlogs are all there. You can learn about the Blitzers and learn about members of the group. And if there's stuff you want to hear or certain opinions that you would like to see, like a good debate, let us know. We'll make a show built right around that for you. Follow us on Twitter. The Twitter handle is @SinReal. We post a lot of our blogs and stuff there as well. Please continue to like and subscribe and follow us wherever you get all your special podcasts. And for me, That's how the old man sees it. Have a good night, all.